What if I told you AI isn't just changing what we do, it's changing how we think?
Some say it's making us lazy. Others say it's unlocking genius. Who's right?
The truth? AI is a double-edged sword, and it's time YOU decide how to wield it.
Have you ever found yourself pausing, maybe after using an AI tool, and just wondering, is this amazing tech actually kind of subtly changing how my brain works? Are we maybe becoming a bit less thoughtful, less unique? It's this quiet worry you hear, everywhere that AI might be reshaping our minds. So today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. We want to cut through all the noise, get past the headlines, and really figure out what the research is telling us. Is AI making us, dumber? Or maybe smarter? Let's try and understand what's really going on. Okay, so let's dig in. The first big argument you hear, and it's kind of unsettling, is that AI isn't just about productivity. It might be homogenizing how we think, and maybe even sort of eroding our cognitive skills. Like, all this convenience has a hidden price tag.
Yeah, that's a major thread. And what's really interesting is this idea that AI models themselves, especially the big language ones, they tend to converge. Think about it. Increasingly trained on data that includes stuff other AIs generated, so they all start becoming, more similar.
Okay. Like, they're learning from each other's homework.
Kind of, yeah. And that raises this pretty profound question. If the AI is converging, is that happening to us too? Are we becoming more alike in how we think? Because, unless an AI is specifically built to be controversial, its default setting is often, generic as possible.
False bland.
Exactly. And the output can often be what some critics are calling homogeneous slop. And the worry is that people consume this slop.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of offloading their own thinking, their individuality onto the AI, almost replacing their own thoughts with the AI's generic ones. See it with automated writing tools, for instance. Beyond just fixing grammar, they often sort of erase that personal voice. That unique touch gets lost.
That idea of offloading our thinking,
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful, but how concrete is it? Are we seeing actual measurable signs of this cognitive atrophy you mentioned, or is it more subtle?
It's becoming clearer, definitely. There are some findings suggesting that using AI chatbots might correlate with lower brain activity.
Lower brain activity? Wow.
Now, to be fair, some sources suggest this could be linked to reduced stress, maybe not directly making people dumber, but it's still an observation worth noting. And anecdotally, you hear a lot from academia, reports that college students now seem, considerably less prepared, worse critical thinkers than maybe a decade ago.
Really?
Yeah. Some might even, panic if they can't just instantly find an answer online. The expectation of instant knowledge is changing things. It's actually getting to the point where telling the difference between a human-written paper and an AI-written one takes real expertise.
Huh.
Professors sometimes say AI papers sound like, and this is a quote, a really poorly written graduate paper.
Okay, that paints a picture.
Think about calculators. They definitely made it easier to be, let's say, less proficient at mental math, right?
Oh, yeah. Guilty as charged. Phone out for simple division sometimes.
Exactly. So in a similar way, these big language models are making it easier to be, maybe less skilled at composing your own thoughts into clear words. If you rely on them too much, it really could lead to a kind of cognitive atrophy. Your mental muscles just don't get the same workout.
Okay, so that's the individual impact. What about the bigger picture? How does this affect how we interact with each other or how we consume information as a society?
That's another crucial layer. There is a real concern about tools like, say, intelligent tutoring systems, these AI education platforms. While they can be helpful, heavy use might actually reduce human contact between students and teachers.
Okay, less personal interaction.
Precisely. And if you extrapolate that, a wider over-reliance on AI could potentially lead to a decline in things like face-to-face communication, our ability to work interdependently, maybe even empathy or emotional connection. You also see this playing out online quite clearly with things like echo chambers and algorithmic bias.
Right? The filter bubbles.
Yeah. They contribute to this homogenization of online culture because they limit your exposure to different viewpoints. That naturally hinders critical thinking, and it can lead to this solidification of opposing views where people just get locked into their perspective. It makes real dialogue much harder.
And the algorithms themselves, they play a role too.
Oh, absolutely. Algorithms are often designed to maximize engagement, right? Keep you clicking, keep you scrolling so they can end up magnifying the spread of false or misleading info. They'll push sensational stuff, things that confirm your biases even if it's factually inaccurate.
Because that gets more reaction.
Exactly, and that's a huge risk for informed public discussion, for our shared understanding of reality, really.
But hold on, it can't all be negative, right? I mean, is it just decline? Because personally, when I use AI for brainstorming or summarizing stuff quickly, it feels like
Yeah,
it's helping me think better in some ways. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. There's this whole other side, AI as a powerful tool for efficiency, for boosting knowledge, even creativity.
that's absolutely the other side of the coin, yes. Think about the service industry or frankly, a lot of corporate jobs. Big LLMs, like Google's Claude or GPT, they can make services way more efficient. They might even make some old tools or processes totally unnecessary.
Streamlining things.
Massively. It's about leveraging tech to be more productive. AI is seen as a key part of this fourth industrial revolution. It's becoming ubiquitous, manufacturing, banking. Estimates suggest AI could automate maybe 30% of work activities by 2030.
30%, wow.
And its power goes way beyond office work. AI has actually outperformed human experts in certain tasks like breast cancer prediction. We see it in complex medical diagnoses, better weather forecasting, business projections, developing smart cities, financial predictions, detecting fraud, the list goes on.
So, really broad applications.
Very broad. And then there's artificial creativity, AI generating novel photographs, music, art, stories. It's genuinely remarkable stuff.
So, it sounds less like AI is coming to replace us. Well, then maybe more like it's augmenting us. Like a super-powered assistant, maybe?
Precisely. That's a strong perspective that AI is fundamentally a tool, like a mirror perhaps, showing us something that already exists, but maybe faster or clearer. For teaching established methods or handling tasks that are repetitive, it can be way faster and less exhausting than a person doing it.
Okay.
And think beyond just giving answers. AI could be your personal tutor, right? Or Socratic opponent challenging your assumptions, an impartial argument analyst, or even a guide pushing you towards your zone of proximal development. That sweet spot where you learn best by being stretched a bit.
Right. Making learning more effective.
Exactly. It has the potential to amplify your learning in ways that just weren't possible before. And research actually backs this up. Some studies suggest AI chatbots can promote higher-order thinking skills in students. How? By encouraging them to ask deeper questions, request more explanation, engage reflectively.
Interesting.
We even saw this with the game Go. AI analysis helped players discover totally new strategies, reassess old patterns, innovate.
Wow.
Even while, yes, it also led to more use of standard patterns too.
So a complex effect even there.
It is. But the core idea here is AI doesn't necessarily just make us dumber. It might redirect how we think, making us more efficient. And crucially, it could allow more people to unleash their creativity.
Okay, so what does this all mean then? It's clearly complex. AI seems like this double-edged sword, right? It can boost us, but maybe also hinder us. It's definitely not as simple either. So how do we navigate this as individuals, as a society? What are the limits we need to grasp, and what's the human element we absolutely need to hold on to?
It really has to start with understanding AI's built-in limitations. It's fantastic at finding patterns. It's statistical reasoning. Amazing. But it's still surprisingly weak at things humans find relatively easy, like genuine common sense, self-directed learning, making value judgments. This is often called more of X paradox.
The hard things for us are easy for AI and vice versa.
Pretty much, yeah. We also need a bit of realism. Sometimes AI successes get, slightly exaggerated. Example, an AI might need millions of labeled pictures to identify objects like a human can. Whereas a toddler learns with just a few examples, that shows a fundamental difference in learning.
That's a really crucial distinction. And what about the more practical problems? The pitfalls in how these systems are built or used day to day?
Yeah, that brings us to ethical concerns like bias. Algorithmic bias is a big one. Bias can creep into AI algorithms from the data they're trained on if it's unrepresentative, incomplete, or just reflects historical inequality.
Right? Garbage in, garbage out.
Basically, and this can lead to decisions that unfairly impact certain groups. Amazon's recruitment tool having a bias against women is a classic example. Then there's the black box issue, especially with models like ChatGPT. We often don't fully understand their internal logic, how they reach a conclusion.
We can't see inside.
Exactly, and that lack of transparency can breed mistrust, especially when the AI spits out something irrational or biased. Privacy is another huge one. Data leakage, data being exploited for commercial gain. These are real dangers. It's why big companies like JP Morgan, Microsoft, Amazon have put restrictions on using these tools internally. And why Italy, for instance, temporarily banned ChatGPT over privacy worries.
Okay, and you mentioned environmental impact earlier too.
We can't forget that, yeah. Training these enormous AI models takes a massive amount of energy, which has significant implications for the climate. It's a hidden cost.
Okay, so AI is this incredibly powerful, yet flawed complex tool with real risks. Where does that leave us, the humans, in the equation? What's our role, our responsibility?
It puts a huge emphasis on what people are calling human-machine collaborative intelligence. The key is remembering AI is fundamentally a tool. Ultimately, its impact, well, it's up to you how you choose to use it.
So agency is key.
Absolutely, and fostering independent thinking is critical. We need to encourage everyone, professionals, students, to verify AI-generated content, check it against multiple sources. That habit builds healthy skepticism and sharpens analytical skills. Don't just blindly trust the output.
Right? Critical engagement.
Yes, and that leads to the need for widespread AI literacy. We need to educate all citizens on how to think critically and responsibly about AI, about their choices, their rights, their privacy. People need to understand how to protect their data, how to stay in control, and crucially, we need to dismantle the myths, the hype around AI. Educate people about its very real limitations and the profound differences between artificial intelligence and actual human intelligence.
That sounds like a big educational shift.
It is, and for educators, it means their role is changing, moving away from just transmitting knowledge, which AI can do, toward focusing on cultivating higher-order thinking, creativity, collaboration skills, social values, the things AI can't easily replicate.
It feels like a fundamental change in what education means and how we even interact with information. And looking bigger picture, countries are already trying to manage this shift, aren't they? Regulations, strategies.
Oh, definitely. It's a global effort. You see countries and regions developing specific strategies. South Korea, for example, aiming to train thousands of new AI grads annually. China has its new generation AI development plan focusing heavily on intelligent education and smart campuses. The UAE has a national AI strategy with a big education component, and the EU has its landmark AI Act.
Yes.
The AI Act, right? It categorizes AI systems by risk level. It bans the most dangerous uses and sets really strict rules for high-risk systems, like those in healthcare or critical infrastructure. Yes, there's clearly a coordinated global attempt underway to shape this technology responsibly.
So, as AI gets woven more and more into our daily lives, the big question seems to be, how much of our own thinking, our cognitive load, are we really willing to outsource? And maybe even more profoundly, what does it actually mean to be intelligent when so much knowledge is just instantly available? But true understanding, well, that still seems to require us humans to do the heavy lifting ourselves.